It oftentimes does. And I found myself at this impasse in life, and I knew that where I wasn't where I really saw myself long term in my future. And so my husband always says it's kind of like a pair of shoes that fit one day, and the next day they hurt your feet. Okay? That discomfort is really the cue that transition is en route. Transition is coming to your house. And so this place that I had been in, I mean, like I said, I had great experiences, but I wasn't challenged anymore. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy anymore. I knew that there was something else that I could be doing and that I should do. And I didn't even really know what it was. Because I believe that your destiny is calling you and you're calling it. It's calling you and you're calling it. And sometimes we don't even know what it is. And so I knew that there was something more, made some decisions, I made a leap, and I left the principalship and I took a job, a work from home job. I said, okay, God, I know it's just a bridge, nothing permanent. And in 15 months, that division that I was working for closed. And I said, oh Lord, I knew it was gonna be short, but I didn't, 15 months, oh Lord, I was still in training. So I stood there at this impasse really in life and said, I don't believe that you really brought me out of this situation for me 15 months later to turn around and go back. And God literally said to me, look in your hand. Because I immediately went to what I wasn't. God, what am I going to do? I'm not this, I'm not that. I immediately went into what I was not. He said, okay, good. Now we've got that established. Look again.
That's good.
How do you know that part of knowing who we are is discovering who we are not?
Yeah.
Because so many times we live a life that has been prescribed to us by others.
Yeah.
So knowing what I wasn't really helped clarify now what I know and who I am. So I said, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a leader. And even before now, I'd always been called to bring women together. I never had a title, never called it anything. I look back a decade ago, a single woman, one bedroom, one bathroom apartment. I was running empowerment meetings in my living room. I didn't call it that, but every time I got into a group of women, this is what would happen. So when we get into this growth formula in just a moment, I'm going to talk about getting clarity. And in this process, I was able to really get clarity on what my assignment and what my mission was, which is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today. I had an opportunity to meet Dr. E a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking, and what are you going to talk about at the Grow Conference? And I said, well, I think I know, but every time I think I know, it ends up being something else. And sometimes as speakers, you can't let what you want to say get in the way of what you need to say. So I had originally thought I'm going to talk about these 5 laws of transformation, which is really my core message. But what I find is that even in other places, I'm still teaching and talking about the power of personal transformation. So this message is for the person today that says there is more. I don't know where it is. I don't know who it is. I don't even know where to start. I just know that where I am is not it. I do not believe that he hung, bled, and died on the cross so that I could get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, and do what we call the square dance for the next 40 years of your life. Okay? So that's who this presentation is for. So I came up with the GROW formula. Oh, this quote, choice, change, and challenge equal transformation. Okay, and I'll come back to that at the end. So let's get into this GROW formula. Grow Women's Conference. I live by a growth mindset. I do training, so I teach on growth models, and so everything in my life is really about growth. So this is good for me. So I want you to write this down. When we talk about the G for growth, okay? Get clarity on the work assigned to your life. You can't go any further until you do it. You have to get absolute clarity on the work that you've been called to do. And I'm not talking about your job, I'm not talking about a new job, I'm talking about your destiny. What is that thing? And one of my pastors used to say it this way, what is the thing that you do so well with little training, little coaching, that people would pay you to do it. But you do it so masterfully. You do it so masterfully, people would pay you, but you love it enough that you do it with no fee. It's not even about the money. And what I found is that if we really quieten our lives, that answer comes on the inside. And those women that I coach and train, remember they all say, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I've been created. They're looking in the wrong place. They're looking outside of themselves. The keys are in the house. Think about this. I let myself in a house with a set of keys. I get in the house, I cannot find the keys. I know the keys are in the house. Your keys are in your house because we were all built the same way.
That's good.
And life happens. Those tragedies that Dr. E talked about, those things push it down where it's almost unrecognizable at times. We don't even know why we're here. We're so busy square dancing and living the life that other people have prescribed for us. You talk about purpose, destiny, we don't even know. We can't articulate it. What are your natural inclinations? What are your natural proclivities? Sometimes you can even go back and find traces of it in childhood. Being in this place of consciousness, I look back, I was on the playground organizing play, telling the folks what to do and where to sit and how to play. And I laugh because how many of you know that we can program our children for success? When we were kids, and I was raised in church, okay? So nothing against church. So my dad was a pastor all of my life, so we churched it up. From the Sunday school to the BTU, to Vacation Bible School. I mean, we did it all. So as children, my sisters and I played school and we played church. Now, this is a different time. My kids go to church, but the landscape of church for children is much different today than it is when we were children. So my children play school and they play vacation. They don't play church. And I said, Lord, am I raising heathens? What is it? But they don't play church. But we play church. And I said that to say, one of the disservices that can happen with those of us that have been raised in church, when we think about purpose, we automatically want to assign ourselves to the fivefold. I can be a pastor, I can be a preacher, I can be a prophet. That's why it's a church on every corner. I was going somewhere the other day and I said, I'm just gonna count. And I literally, in a couple of blocks, I lost count.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that God is not raising up the fivefold. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying for those of us that are in church, it's not the only way that we can be used. It's not the only thing that we can be called to. That's why people are scrambling for titles in church. They want to assign value. I'm a this, I'm a that. Y'all, I'm just Stephanie. I don't really, all the extra stuff, I don't know. I was somewhere, well, we need a title. Ma'am, Miss is okay. I don't want all the stuff that comes, I'm just Stephanie. Okay? I'm a woman who's had some experiences that I now hold as truths, that I've been commissioned to share with the women and the men that they're assigned to my voice. Yeah. That's it. Y'all can have all the other stuff, okay? So we have to look outside the norm. Anything that you can do that creates value for other people can be ministry or purpose. Anything that you do, and this is another way that you're able to tell, is it creating value for other people? Is it serving other people? If it's not, it might be a hobby, but it's probably not your purpose. So you have to be able to be absolutely clear about what it is, because that clarity helps to serve as a compass. When you know what your assignment is and what you've been called to do, it helps you live your life more intentionally. Where you go, where you live, who you date, what you do, because you know who you are and where you're going. And without it, you find yourself just kind of wandering through life. Here's the other thing about getting clarity. Give yourself some room to test yourself. You might not get it right the first time. How many of you have had different business ventures or different things that you've tried your hand at, hobbies that you've tried to turn into businesses or things? It's okay. And most of the time, the people that are discouraging you are speaking from their own fear and mediocrity. So why are you allowing them to determine how you spend your time and energy? Have you ever tried a business and you say, oh Lord, I know Mama never gonna have something to say. Well, did you try something last year? Did you try with so-and-so the year before? Oh, and more